When recovering swimmers or equipment from the river, the loads that we have to hold and generate can be large, so it's useful to be able to attach to fixed objects. In this chapter, we're going to have a look at anchors and the hitches we use to attach to them. Whitewater paddlers don't routinely use ropes in the same way as sailors or climbers. But when it comes to tethering people or equipment, it's really useful to have a few knots tucked up our sleeves. Let us show you a few that we've found valuable. To attach a Clove hitch to a closed loop, you start off by placing the rope over the top and passing it underneath. You then pass it over the top of the first strand and underneath again. On the second turn round, you pass it through the loop that's been created. A lovely strong knot, easily tied, and easily adjustable. And when you remove this, the knot's gone and the rope remains clean. To attach a Clove hitch to a carabiner, you start off by forming one loop. Pinch with your thumb, form another identical loop. Pinch with your thumb and pass the second loop behind the first one. The carabiner is then placed through the hoops that have been created and the knot is pulled tight. The reason I really like using Clove hitches is when I remove this from the carabiner, the knot's gone and the rope remains clean. If you need to join two ropes together at the clean end, the easiest and most straightforward method is to use an overhand knot. Hold the two ropes parallel to each other and just tie a straightforward overhand knot in the ropes. In order to secure the knot, put a second overhand knot in. Simple, easy to remember, and locks two ropes together successfully. To make a sling from an unstitched length of webbing, simply hold the two ends parallel and flat against each other. Tie a simple overhand knot, keeping the webbing flat, and then repeat this with a second overhand knot to secure. To attach a Prusik to a line, the method I recommend is the French Prusik. You start this by passing the Prusik over the rope and then taking turns around the rope, keeping the knot neat. With wet Prusik and wet rope, take as many turns as you can, at least 4. Then identify the two ends, pass a carabiner through, and that can pull in either direction. The classic Prusik knot is achieved by passing the loop of Prusik over the rope and then taking one end through several times. Then, pulling tight, the knot grasps on the rope like that. Attach a carabiner to this loop and the Prusik can be pulled in either direction and won't slip. Anchors. Now that we've got ourselves a variety of simple knots and hitches, let's look in some more detail at how we might use them to secure our equipment or ourselves. Most river banks have trees. They're absolutely fantastic for tying onto. Once you've tied onto them, as long as the tree's stable, you can pull the rope in any direction. To create an anchor around a tree, we can pass a length of unstitched webbing around the trunk. Tie the sling off with 2 overhand knots. Then we can clip a carabiner into the closed loop and attach a line with a Clove hitch. The Bowline is a really secure knot for tying around an object. Pass the rope around the fixed object, like this tree, and make a loop on the longer end by twisting the rope over itself. Take the free end and pass it up through the loop. Then under the longer end, and finally back down through the loop. I prefer to only use this method when I'm tying round a fixed object, because when I remove the knot at the end of the process, the knot's gone and the rope remains clean. Another really useful way of attaching to a tree is to use a method that's known either as a Tugman's hitch or a no knot. It's really easy, dead straightforward. Take your rope and pass it round the back of the tree. Continue to wrap the rope round the tree in upward spirals. I suggest you take at least 3, but preferably 4 turns. Take the end of the rope, pass it over the original one and lay it down. The friction of the rope running round the tree gives enormous grip and is a really secure method of tying to a tree. The big advantage to this is I can release it under load, and when I take it off, the rope's clean and I'm ready to go. Not all river banks have conveniently positioned trees that we can attach to. Another method that we can use to tether is using rocks or boulders like this. Simply pass a looped sling over the boulder and clip a carabiner onto which you can attach a line with a clove hitch. It's essential that you test that it won't fall off once it comes under the load. The way in which to do that is just to rock the sling back and forwards like that, and if it stays attached, it's good to go. The issue with this system is the direction of pull is crucial. So in this one, we can only pull in that direction. If we pull in the opposite direction, the sling will just fall off the boulder. By using a wee bit of ingenuity, we can find other places to tie onto in the bank. Here I've used a thread. So where these two boulders are jammed together, there's a hole at the back. I've fed a sling through them, attached it with a carabiner, and then tied on with my clove hitch. The great thing about threads is the direction of pull can be anywhere. So it works equally as well in this direction as it does in that direction or even that direction. A really useful way of tying on. Knots, hitches and anchors are the building blocks of the more complex rescues. There are many sources of information on knots and hitches, from books to websites if you want to find out more. The ones we've mentioned should be sufficient for most circumstances you would encounter around whitewater.